There's a ton of weather myths out there that people still believe today, and some of them have been around for generations. And I will say there's actually a little bit of truth behind some. Today I thought it'd be fun to break down the top 10 weather myths and separate fact from fiction. Let's get into it. Number 10, and this might upset some people, but animals can predict weather. Have you ever heard cows laying down means it's gonna rain? Or birds flying lower than normal means bad weather's on the way? Is there any truth to any of this? Animals don't have some built-in weather radar where they know exactly what's gonna happen tomorrow, but they're really good at picking up on changes that are already happening around them. Many animals can sense falling air pressure, changes in humidity, and changes in the wind pattern, and even tiny vibrations before storms arrive. So when your dog starts acting differently before a thunderstorm, he's not predicting the future, obviously. He's reacting to changes that are already happening in the atmosphere. Although if your dog starts explaining the severe weather breakdown for tomorrow, come let me know. So overall, I would say there's some truth to this, but the animals are really just reacting to what's already happening, not what's gonna happen. Number 9, you can smell the rain coming. Now this one is partially true as well. Most of us have noticed a smell right before it starts to rain. Turns out that smell even has a name. It's called petrichor. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. When rain falls on dry soil, oils from plants and compounds produced by bacteria in the ground get released into the air. Thunderstorms can also produce small amounts of ozone, which adds to the fresh smell a lot of people associate with rain. So yes, I guess you really can't actually smell rain, but similar to number 10, you're smelling changes that are already happening around you. A lot of people associate this myth with smelling imminent rainfall. Myth number 8, rubber tires protect you from lightning. I've heard this my entire life. If lightning strikes your car, you're actually safe because of the rubber tires. Okay, hold up. We gotta turn this off. Anyways, that actually isn't true. Think about it. Lightning just traveled several miles through the atmosphere. A couple of inches of rubber isn't gonna stop it. The real reason why you're usually safe inside of a car is because of the metal frame. When lightning strikes a car, the electricity moves around and outside the vehicle before safely reaching the ground. That's called a Faraday cage. So yes, I'm sorry if I worried any of you. Your car is one of the safer places to be in a thunderstorm. Just don't give all the credit to the tires. They're taking credit for someone else's work. Myth number 7, cold weather gives you a cold. All right, this one's probably been passed down through families for generations. Put your jacket on or you're gonna catch a cold. Now, cold weather itself doesn't give you a cold. Viruses give you colds. So why do more people get sick during winter? Well, there's a few reasons. People spend more time indoors. They're around each other more often. Winter air is also usually drier, which can help respiratory viruses spread more easily. So while winter definitely lines up with cold and flu season, the cold itself is not what's making you sick. Okay, now we're getting into the weather myths that have a little bit more to do with severe weather. And a couple of these have been around for decades. Let's move on to myth number 6. Highway overpasses are safe tornado shelters. Absolutely not. Do not get under there. In all seriousness, here's why. As wind gets forced into a smaller space underneath the overpass, it can actually speed up. Think about putting your thumb over the top of a hose. The opening gets smaller, the water comes out faster. The same idea can happen with wind. On top of that, flying debris can get funneled through the overpass as well. If you're driving and there's a tornado approaching, the best option is to get into a sturdy building. If there isn't one, technically you should get out of your vehicle and get as low as possible, even into a ditch or low-lying area, and make sure you're protecting your head from debris. An overpass should really be one of your last choices. Myth number 5, opening your windows during a tornado saves your house. This is one that a lot of people were actually taught growing up. If a tornado's coming, open your windows. The idea was that tornadoes have such low pressure that your house could actually explode, and opening your windows would equalize the pressure. It sounds scientific, but it's not true. And honestly, if you ever hear someone say this today, don't make fun of them. This was legitimate advice not too long ago. We just know better now. When a tornado destroys a home, it's almost always because of the wind. Once those winds get under the roof or break the garage door down or windows, they can tear a house apart incredibly quickly. Opening your windows does not help. It just wastes valuable time. If a tornado warning is issued, forget about the windows. Spend those extra few seconds getting yourself and your family somewhere safe. Myth number 4, tornadoes can't cross rivers. Another one you'll probably hear a lot. We're on the other side of the river, we're fine. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no science behind that. Tornadoes don't know whether they're over a lake or a cornfield or a river or anything else. They're simply following the winds in the atmosphere. In fact, we've seen some tornadoes cross major rivers over the years, including the Mississippi, Missouri, and Ohio rivers, and plenty others. So where did this myth come from? Honestly, probably because rivers are relatively narrow compared to the distance tornadoes travel. If a tornado misses crossing a river a few times, it's easy for people to believe that maybe the river stopped it, but that's just a coincidence. The atmosphere really doesn't care what's on the ground beneath it. If the conditions are right, a tornado can cross a river just as easily as a tornado can cross a road. All right, now we've made it to the top 3, and you've all heard this one: lightning never strikes the same place twice. This is probably one of the most famous weather sayings of all time. But not only is it false, but the exact opposite is true. Lightning loves striking the same place over and over. The Empire State Building gets struck by lightning dozens of times a year. Radio towers, cell towers, mountain peaks, they get hit constantly. Now, while we're talking about lightning, there's another myth that kind of goes along with this one. A lot of times people think lightning strikes the tallest object. Tall objects definitely have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. That's why skyscrapers and towers get hit so often. But always is the key word here. Lightning doesn't always choose the tallest thing around. It can strike open fields, beaches, backyards, even people standing in areas where there are taller things around. So never assume you're safe just because there's a tree or building around you that's taller than you. Lightning doesn't follow simple rules. Myth number 2. Is it safe to shower during a thunderstorm? I swear this debate has been going on for a while. Some people won't think twice about hopping in the shower during a thunderstorm, and others won't even wash their hands. So what's actually true? The safest answer is to wait. Lightning technically can travel through plumbing. If your home has metal plumbing or even plumbing connected to a conductive material, there's a path for electricity to travel. Now, is this something that happens every day? No. It's actually very rare, but it has happened. And considering a shower can usually wait another 20 or 30 minutes, it's probably not worth taking the chance. And for our number 1 weather myth, tornadoes can't hit big cities. I've heard all kinds of explanations over the years. Buildings break them apart, heat from the cities weaken them, they'll go around downtown. None of this is true. Tornadoes don't really know if they're over a cornfield or a suburb, or downtown Nashville. If the atmosphere has the right conditions, a tornado can occur. Now, there's one part of this myth that I think is worth talking about. A lot of people will say, well, then why don't we ever see large wedge tornadoes plow through a city or a downtown like Chicago or Minneapolis or Dallas? And that's a fair question, but the answer comes down to probabilities. The US is huge, and our largest cities take up a surprisingly small amount of that land. And while tornadoes can certainly be large, their damage paths are still relatively narrow compared to the size of the US. So the odds of a violent tornado trekking directly through a major downtown are really pretty low. We've simply been fortunate for the most part, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. It just means that the odds are small. And we have seen tornadoes hit some major cities: Nashville, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Fort Worth, Miami, and plenty others. So if a tornado warning is issued for your city, don't assume the skyline is somehow going to protect you. The atmosphere doesn't care where city limits begin or where they end. So, how many of those did you already know? And more importantly, which one surprised you the most? I'm sure there are plenty of weather myths that I didn't include. So if you've heard of one that wasn't on the list, let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to do a part 2. And honestly, I know there are more than just 10. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, I'd really appreciate if you'd leave a like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And again, if you're as interested in weather as I am, I've got plenty more videos just like this on the way. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.